How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another SUI update. And unfortunately, like I've warned, even with bullish news, a strategic reserve coming for Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, XRP, ADA, and I'm sure as Miston Labs created SUI, and Miston Labs being based in the US, that eventually there would be a strategic reserve that includes SUI as well. But at the moment, even with that bullish news, we're seeing a market-wide dump again. And this is simply because the move back up was not good enough. So it's going to sound like, how is it going to do that? But what it actually needed to do was, from $2.50, it needs to reclaim $3.44 without any rejections. And that's what I mean. It's like, how is it going to do that? Surely when it just gets into the first resistance, it's going to reject. How is it going to break 344 without rejecting it? The previous high over here, where the body candle closes were, it's the 886 fib. So by breaking that, we would actually see SUI actually targeting $3.50, $4, and $4.50. But ultimately, if you've been following the videos for a long while, you would know that I have a bearish bias overall. Even if there is a bounce that's meant to happen, I'm constantly warning it can lower high and roll over. If you watched my videos from this double bottom area, I was suggesting that it needs to bounce from here. It chose not to do so. So it actually had a better setup in this area than down over here. It's a lot worse position down over here, as there was a double bottom. All it needed to do was reclaim the moving averages and then tackle these final two red boxes. It couldn't even do that. And at the very first hurdle, fails, loses the 200 EMA, in an even worse position now, because a move back up should just test the moving averages as resistance. You'd also need to see all the moving averages recovered. That's in the 886 area. It's also about to form a bearish cross with this move down. So it's looking day by day as it develops into what I've been warning of. So the suggestion right now is that maybe we're in this area over here. I know there's a lot on the chart currently. If I were to try and scale it back a little, we can look at these four highs over here in this double top area. We can see a double top over here as well, but four highs and a double top, and then a huge capitulation event. And I was suggesting, as this was developing, when you get such a move down, the move back up is just naturally going to fail. Please try and convince me how a coin would just move up from this low $2.40 and break $5 without pulling back. It's of course going to find resistance and a hurdle and fail at that hurdle. So just like last time after the capitulation event, we start to see and form these bearish crosses. So a move back up might have seemed bullish, living it, because after such a negative move down, and then day by day we're climbing back up, it feels amazing. Oh, we're higher today. Oh, the next day we're even higher. The next day we're even higher. All for a week, 2 weeks, however it wants to last, but it's correctively moving up, getting ready for another move down. And this is what I've maintained as my bias since the end of January, guys. We're now in March, and every single day that has passed since the end of January, I've been proven right. All the bounces have eventually failed. So like here on SUI last time, had the bearish crosses, so the move up was just into resistance and then eventually lower. We are seeing the exact same things once again. The big clue for me was the absolute size of the wick. When there's a massive wick on the chart, it tends to get filled, and that's what it's pretty much been eventually bleeding down to do. So while $2.40 is still support, it has every right to reverse and protect this level. So what I will do is mark out $2.40 to $2.52. This is where it must hold. So even though it's broken down, done something horrible by creating a new downtrend, it can still get out of this mess as long as support is found above $2.40 and 52. And then the next step would be having to reclaim the 886 $3.40. That would recover the moving averages. So it would suggest on the break of $3.40, we're going to get a further move up into the next area of resistance, $4.40, sorry, 50 to $5. I need to see that final $5 broken, because even if we get that extended move up by reclaiming the 886, and that extended move up could take us all the way to $5. As I've shown in previous Bitcoin updates, what can truly happen. So if I go to this correction that we experienced in the last year, Every single time we put in a local low and started working our way back up, you can see the 886 failed. It didn't break through, failed, made new lower lows in the end. Measure that new completed move down, and we can see once again in the future the 886 was respected and lower lows followed. I can go again off of this high, and then you can see it ran into the 886, and what followed? A new lower low. So every time it's rejected, you can see what happens, and then one time it's actually broken, flipped into support, the targets are met. So it's the same scenario as Sui. Now, I'm not saying Sui is going to go through some 8-month long correction. All I'm saying is that it could actually get up as high as $5 and still roll over into a new lower low. So what does that mean? That means it doesn't even need to get up there to go to new lower lows. It can fail at the very first hurdle, like over here, and go to new lower lows. We will have an opportunity to go back up and potentially go through a move that can recover the 886, the smaller micro one, $3.44, and then the more macro one, $4.90. So that's only going to come if we secure this key level of support, $2.40 to $2.52. Guys, if you enjoyed that video, please smash the thumbs up. If you've been enjoying these insights on a daily, weekly basis, let me know in the comment section below if it's been helping you along your journey. If not, let me know what I can improve on. But at the moment, over the past month or month plus now, I have been bearish, and as a result, suggesting all the reasons, those resistances were not being broken, they were being respected every single time, continuing with that downtrend. And that's why after a day like today, getting this bearish engulfing candlestick pattern, after reclaiming certain levels, it just simply was not good enough. The bouncer was not good enough. It's still maintaining bearish structure with lower lows, and this high being lower than the last, so lower highs. The only hope that it has is bouncing from $2.40, $2.52, and breaking through these highs in order to target that area, which it could still fail at and put in lower lows, don't forget. And if we are to be in this current area over here and looking to now confirm the 200 EMA as resistance with this move up today, then we can see what there is potentially next. If this key level over here of 240 is lost, 240 back in the past would have been there, and it was 89 cents. But we can see what comes if this key level of support is lost. But in the end, guys, I still maintain that currently, at least right now, it's a correction. I'm not expecting this to be the bear market. It is just simply mirroring the correction of last year. Maybe the time duration hopefully is shorter than last time. That would be my hope, at least. I guess the same as you guys. We want to get out of this mess sooner rather than later, but there could be still some choppiness over the few months. Now, please do understand that if this key level $2.40, which would be 89 in the past, maintained, so can you see how it lost it over here and went through something even worse, eventually reclaiming the green level, holding its support, and then going higher? Well, if 240 is not actually lost, then we don't have to go through that. And 240 just needs to maintain, build up, and start recovering those key levels, because in the end here, it failed to recover those levels. But over here, once the green line was recovered, we saw the moving averages reclaimed. Still had to go ahead and tackle those red resistances, but you can see flipped into support and then went higher. So at some point in the future, we need to see $4 to $5 flipped into support. And that's what would allow these higher price targets, like I've been suggesting over the last month and a half or so, but maintained that while under $4.90, this is technically bearish. The scenarios for this to keep going lower are then at each first hurdle, because guys, when we were building up over here, it's at the final support and the very first hurdle, and it failed, and then we lost that final support, so even worse position. And then now we need to recover even more levels, so we've added another one, and then it failed at the first one once again. So final support once again must bounce and take out these boxes. I will be here to update it. Please, if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, comment, and share. If you want to get educated, if you want me to teach you how to do this, I host some live streams weekly in the Discord, so I teach everyone as a group, sharing my insights on a daily basis as well, morning, day, and night, and telling you what I'm personally doing. So if you want more information, use the links in the description. I can do something more personalized, one-to-one, or if you're someone that doesn't have the time, I do have an ebook option as well. use the links to head over to the website, and definitely follow me on Twitter for more updates.